Hello, boys and girls. It's story time with Miss Unelli. Today, I brought this book. It is called Clifford the Small Red Puppy. Do you guys know who Clifford is? I bet some of you do. This book is by Norman Bridwell. He wrote the book and he drew the pictures. That means he is the author and the illustrator of this book. Let's see what it is about. We have a little girl, we have a little dog, and a big bowl. Look at that big bone. Hi, I'm Emily Elizabeth, and this is Clifford, my big red dog. At the beginning of this, at the title of this book, it says, Clifford the Small Red Puppy. And now there's a picture of a big red dog. When a dog is a baby, it's called a puppy. And this is how small a puppy is. And I don't know, maybe this is a clue for what's going to be in the book. Let's see. Yesterday, my friend Martha said, I got my dog from a fancy pet store. Where did you get yours? So I told her how I got Clifford. When I was little, I lived in the city. I didn't have a dog. One day, the man down the hall called us. His dog had puppies. He wanted to give me one. I bet that was a happy day for Emily Elizabeth. One puppy was smaller than the rest. The man said, Don't take him. He is the runt. He will always be small and sick. But I loved that little puppy, and he needed me. Sometimes they call the puppy that was born last, or the smallest puppy, the runt. I named my puppy Clifford. He was so tiny that I had to feed him with the doll's baby bottle. She got her baby doll's baby bottle and fed her puppy. We got the smallest collar we could find for Clifford. You think that collar is going to fit him? Let's see. It was too big. It's around his waist. When he began to eat dog food, we had to watch him all the time. Look what happened. He fell inside the bowl. He was so small. He was so little that he was always getting lost, even in our small apartment. Look, she's looking for him, and her dad is putting his boot on, and there's something right here. It says, Arf! I think Clifford's in there. He's saying, Arf! Get me out of here. He was so little that he was always getting lost. Daddy said Clifford was just too small. He didn't think he could live through the winter. I was very sad. Oh, look how sad she is. She's crying. That night, I told Clifford I wished he would grow to be a big, healthy dog. I told him I loved him. Next morning, he looked bigger to me. She wished that he would get big and healthy. And look, she woke up and he's a little bit bigger. I wonder what happened. He seemed to have an easier time eating his dog food, and his collar wasn't so loose. In fact, by the time Daddy got home, the collar was too small. It broke. He grew all that big just in a few hours while the Daddy was at work. By bedtime, Clifford's tiny basket seemed a little too small for him. Look, she had him in a little basket, and look, he's too big for the basket. So I let him sleep on my pillow again. Oh, and she looks happy. That was a mistake. He grew through the night and she fell out of bed because they didn't fit. Next morning, Mommy thought Clifford looked different. Daddy said, I think he's growing. Look at his dish now. He's able to put it in his mouth. Remember earlier? He was falling inside of it. I decided to take Clifford for a walk at the corner. I saw a big dog coming. I knew I should pick Clifford up so the big dog couldn't hurt him. Because before, when he was a little puppy, she always had to pick him up. But then she says, I shouldn't have worried. Because she turned around and he was bigger than the big dog. Clifford really was growing. We ran home to show Mommy how big he was. Had our apartment door grown smaller? Daddy couldn't believe it. We put Clifford in the garden to sleep that night. In the morning, the lady upstairs called us. It was about Clifford. Look, he's right here, and the lady up here called, and it was about Clifford. Look, he grew, and he was looking inside her house. That would be kind of scary, huh? She says, oh my goodness, your dog is big. In fact, all the neighbors were starting to notice him. The landlord called the police. They came to see Clifford. They said Clifford would have to go. But how? He couldn't go through the door. He got so big in the yard that there was no way for him to get out of the yard. I wonder what they're going to do. There was just one way to get him out of our garden. They had to pick him up with a machine. We sent him to live with my uncle who lived in the country. They put him in a moving van, and look, his little nose is coming out and his tail. Hope he doesn't grow on the way there, huh? Oh, I was so sad. I missed my little puppy, and he missed me. We're crying for each other. One day we got a surprise. My uncle wanted Daddy to come work with him in the country. We moved right away. I bet she was so happy. Clifford was waiting for me. I said, Clifford, stop growing. You are just right. So I said to Martha, that's how I got my dog. Tell me again how you got your dog? Martha put her hand on her head and she said, forget it. Because I bet her story probably wasn't as good as Emily Elizabeth's story about her dog. The end. So that's a cute story. So that showed us how the puppy, when he became a dog, he grew really big, huh? So he was very small, like this. He fit in her hand, remember? And then he grew and he grew and he grew overnight and he got big. So now he's called the Big Red Dog. And there's a lot of stories about him that we'll be reading. So I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Your local library may have this book available for checkout. Remember to read every day. Happy reading!